What if I told you that every single bad habit that you have started by doing one thing, and that one thing compounded into the disaster that you live with today? Would it give you hope? Hope to reverse engineer all of your bad habits? But not only that, give you hope to implement new habits that could turn you into a virtual superhero. If that sounds good, then let's dive in. Habits aren't always a bad thing. They're crucial to our survival. They help us save energy. By automating tasks, we conserve our energy for essential activities. They help us adapt. Repeating behaviors help us learn and adapt to our environment. They create routines. Habits bring stability, making life predictable and manageable. And social habits build community, strengthening group bonds, enhancing collaboration and protection. Our habits also reinforce our skills, with the regular practice of survival skills ensuring that we're ready when needed. In essence, habits streamline our lives and boost our chances of survival. Let me start off by telling you a story. It's about a kid named James. Before James was born, his father played minor league baseball for the St. Louis Cardinals. So naturally, when James was born, he wanted his son to follow in his footsteps. By the time James got into his sophomore year of high school, he suffered a devastating injury. Baseball bat to the dome, busting out his eye sockets and his nose. When he went to the hospital, they put him in a medically induced coma, giving his parents probably the worst night of their lives. But after 9 months, he started to recover. Not yet able to drive, lacking some motor skills, he still wanted to play baseball. So he suffered some setbacks, even got cut from the team. But he started implementing daily habits, going to bed at the same time, writing a to-do list to give him more control over his life. Eventually, he secured a spot on a college team, becoming the team captain and earning the academic All-American honors. Although he never got to play professionally, he found fulfillment in his progress. And reflecting on his journey, he realized unknowingly that he was improving every day. And that improvement got him to where he was. So this ignited his passion into studying habits and writing blogs and implementing those habits to get better at writing blogs. Eventually, writing a book called Atomic Habits, which has helped millions of people's lives, including mine. Raise your hand if you ever heard the phrase 1% better every day. I guarantee you, whoever told you that got it from this book. And there's this really cool chart in here. Zoom in on that. And it emphasizes the fact that if you're 1% better every day, you're going to be 37 times better in a year. Basic math. Good habits, bad habits. It makes sense that it takes time for them to mature. These days, we want everything instantly, instant gratification. With cell phones and the internet, that's actually how we fell down the bad habit path. We found a quick solution to a long-term problem. And so, since we know how to create bad habits, how do we create good ones? Today's video, I want to go over the 4 laws of behavior change as per Atomic Habits. First one is make it obvious. The second one is make it attractive. The third one is make it easy. And the fourth one is make it satisfying. And the cool part about that is that's how you implement good habits. To break a bad habit would just be the invert to that. So you would make it invisible, make it unattractive, make it hard, and make it unsatisfying. And so I'm going to go over each one, and hopefully this will give you a nice framework to implement great habits for the new year. If you're excited about that, let's go. So for the first law, make it obvious. You want to make your cues for your good habits clear and visible. For example, if you want to start reading more, put a book on top of your pillow. That way, it's obviously right there in front of you before you go to bed. And for the bad habit, you would just want to make it invisible. So if you have junk food around the house, maybe hide it somewhere. If you can avoid it even further than that, don't even purchase it at the store. Then it's really invisible. The second law is make it attractive. We're more likely to perform our habits if they give us a dopamine spike. So if you add something that gives you a dopamine spike with the new habit, for example, If there's a podcast that you're into, maybe listen to that when you're exercising. Or there's a coffee shop that you like to go to. Like, go there after your workout. Kind of reward yourself. An example for a bad habit is maybe you scroll too much on social media. Make your home screen unattractive. Take away all the apps that you like to get your dopamine fixes on and hide them in the back or delete them. And law number 3 is to make it easy. So you don't want to go out the gate guns a-blazing. I think when I first started working out, one of the things that I like to do was I would take 1 minute to do push-ups, set the timer for 1 minute. 1 minute to do sit-ups, set the timer for 1 minute. 1 minute to do a plank, for example, like that. I just keep doing that until I became a little bit stronger, and then I was able to do more in the gym. But I started out like that so that I wouldn't give up, because if it wasn't easy, I would be like, this sucks, I'm done. And for your bad habit, you want to make it hard. For example, what I did was I used to spend a lot of money on stupid things because I always had cash on me, or I always had money on me. So I made it so that I would only have a certain amount of cash on me, and I wouldn't bring my cards with me. So it would be like really hard for me to actually access any of my money. And I had like different locks to where I would have to like move money from one bank account to the next bank account, and I'd have to like wait a couple days before I could even spend that money. It's really complicated and complex, but I saved a bunch of money that way because I made it hard to spend money. And the last one, make it satisfying. So for example, maybe you go to a gym and there's a really good coffee shop by there. Maybe treat yourself every once in a while after you go to the gym. Make it part of your routine that you go to the gym, and then after you go to the gym, you go get your coffee or something like that. Or, just anything like that. Because if you don't reward yourself for doing the hard and difficult stuff, then you're not going to want to do it. You need that dopamine spike. You know what I mean? It's how we went down the bad habit path, getting that dopamine spike. So you're going to get the grand reward in the end, but it's nice to treat yourself along the way. And for the invert to that would be to make it unsatisfying for your bad habits. So say your bad habit is procrastination. Maybe you punish yourself a little bit extra in the gym because you procrastinated. Or I don't know what's a good example, but I think for me, it was my mindset when I quit drinking was the mindset of like how unsatisfying a hangover is. I wouldn't be thinking about, happy drunk. I was thinking about, Saturday morning's gonna suck. And I think that's one of the greatest things since I quit drinking was that I got my mornings back. And that's pretty satisfying. So there you have it. Your framework for the new year. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. And whatever you're trying to quit, make it invisible, unattractive, hard, and unsatisfying. You should be pretty successful for the new year. An example to this is, I have a confession to make. I hate being in front of the camera. I hate talking to a camera. It's not that easy for me, but I've been doing this every day, making myself do TikToks, making myself do Instagrams. Now I'm doing these videos and I'm going to have them up every Sunday to hold on to the commitment. And this is my 2025 commitment. And I'm excited about what it's going to be, because when I started trying to better myself in my life, I turned to YouTube. And there are so many creators on here that helped me out. And I learned one thing that was really cool, was the fact that if you're going to be consuming something, you need to be creating it as well. I was consuming a lot of YouTube, so now I'm giving it back, and I'm going to try to create content that helps out me a few years ago. If you're on a journey of self-improvement and you're pretty new to it, join the channel, because I'm just going to keep going, and make sure that you leave comments and tell me a little bit about your story. And if you want to join the newsletter, the Rad Habits newsletter, you can write me back on the Rad Habits newsletter and, keep everything anonymous if you need somebody to talk to. There's a whole bunch of different things that I'm going to be doing this year. I'm in the middle of writing a book, co-authoring a book, which is a weird turn for me, but I'm excited. I'm going to grab this year by the horns and I guess try to wrangle it. But anyway, make sure you subscribe, join me, and I have a link for the Atomic Habits book if you want to pick it up. And if you made it this far, I really appreciate you, and join the channel.